Hi, good evening. Just wanted to give everybody a 2-minute buffer to get in. I know the weather and coming from work. So I am Mrs. Urban. I am the principal at Normandy, and I want to welcome you to our high school information night. I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd of people who have children that are either at Normandy or have had them before. But I want to just give you a little bit of background about myself and what I expect and what I want Normandy to be. Normandy is like my second home. I spend a lot of time here, and I take my job very seriously and our building very seriously, and we have very high expectations for our students. I have a 5-year-old daughter named Grace, and I truly try to live by, if it's not good enough for Grace Urban, then it's not good enough for a Normandy student. And if you ever have an experience that isn't that way, or anything of concern, I want to make sure that we have an open line of communication. You bring it to my attention, because I want the best. I want the next 4 years of your child's life to be something that is valuable to them and something that they enjoy coming to school every day. High school is hard. It is hard raising children in 2026. I think everyone would agree with that. So the more we can partner, I think the better the experience will be for everyone. So to give you an overview of tonight, you're just going to hear a little bit about Normandy in general. At our August new student orientation, that one we go much more in depth. We will go through more nuts and bolts type stuff. Your child will have an opportunity with you to tour the building so they know where all their classes are. We'll go over bell schedules. We'll go over more detailed things when it comes to academic and behavior expectations. Tonight is going to be to make sure that you are aware of how you should go into HAC when you leave here and request courses for your child next year, what courses they need to take, all of that important stuff, because you're navigating, if you don't have a child already in high school, it's a new time for you as a parent too. So we want to make sure that you have all the information and all the things that you need to make sure that you're making the best decisions for your child. So my counseling department and my counseling chair, Ms. Zaraya Abdullah, will go through that presentation with you. Once that is concluded, I highly encourage you to go downstairs in our cafeteria. We have over 30 groups, clubs, groups, teams, sports downstairs, and a lot of the stuff starts in the off season, or a lot of stuff starts now, and it's good to have that contact information. It's good to meet some of the kids that are in those groups and in those clubs and on those teams. So you'll have an opportunity to go downstairs to get information about that, share your information so you can get on email lists, so you have all of that so you can get involved. And then that will be it. So if you are not interested in staying for the extracurriculars, you are welcome to head out at 6:50, but we really, really would encourage you. We have tons of people downstairs that are eager and excited to meet you. Our core values and our why, this is something that, you get into education for many reasons, but the number one reason is opportunities for kids. That's what we're here every day for. We recognize maybe college isn't for everyone. Maybe they want to go into the workforce. It's our job to help them find their pathway and to partner with you and with your child to make sure that we are providing them the best resources, the best support, that they can make decisions that will impact them in a positive way after they leave Normandy. Just a quick introduction of, again, I'm Mrs. Urban, I'm the building principal. To my right here is Mr. Fennell. He's actually going to go through the presentation. I told him about a half hour ago, because he's going to be your first point of contact. If you have a 9th grader coming to Normandy next year, he solely works with 9th grade. So he is somebody that you're going to contact should there ever be an issue. You are always welcome to contact me too, but a lot of times we always encourage to go to our grade level administrators. In the back hiding are my 10th and 11th grade and 12th grade principals. 11th grade is Mr. Gacka, 10th grade is Mrs. Kruzek, and then 12th grade is Mrs. Kensinger-Smart. She's waving back there at everyone. So we do it by grade level just because we've, over the years, have figured out most 9th grade issues involve other 9th grade students. So it's just easier for us to streamline that, and there's tons of support. And then our counselors are set up a little bit differently, but still at the same time similar. We do go by alphabet because we feel it's important that the counselors travel with the students each year as they go on. 9th and 10th grade are similar years, and then when they go to 11th and 12th grade, they'll have the same counselor, because things that you're looking at in 9th and 10th grade are going to be very different than what you're looking at in 11th and 12th grade. So we have 2 sets of counselors. They're all sitting right here. They want to turn around and wave. We have Mr. Muha, Ms. Peasham, Mrs. Keeler, and Mrs. Busa and Ms. Wright are not here, but Ms. Abdallah is our guidance department chair, and she will lead you through that presentation about the course requests. So I'm going to turn it over right now to Mr. Fennell, who's going to go through the rest of this brief presentation with you, and then we will have Ms. Abdallah take over. If you need anything, I will be around the rest of the night, happy to talk with you, connect with you, answer any questions that you might have. Thank you. You have to stay here because it's...
All right, thank you, Mrs. Urban, and obviously thank all of you for joining us tonight. As Mrs. Urban said, we're just going to give you some information as you're coming up, more than likely from either Hillside or Shiloh. If you are coming from Greenbrier, obviously welcome you as well. It's nice having everyone in the building tonight so that we can give you some of this information. So as Mrs. Urban said, partnership with parents and guardians. As your administrators, I'm going to just go through a couple slides here, probably about 10 minutes. Ms. Abdallah over there, she's going to sort of give you the meat and potatoes of the presentation tonight and what you would want to do as far as classes and scheduling and different things like that. All right, obviously as your administrators, we strive to be transparent and consistent with communication. As you heard, Mrs. Urban and all of us administrators treat Normandy as our second home, so we want it to be a welcoming, safe place for all of our students to attend. It's a hard transition coming from middle school to high school for anyone, so we obviously tried to make that as seamless and easy for you as possible. It sort of starts now. You're going to want to, take some time to look into the classes and pick classes that you want, pick classes that you're comfortable with. All right, so obviously the number one goal here is to get you to graduate. I know when you're only in 8th grade now and you're coming in to be a 9th grader, it seems so far away, but trust me, the time goes very quickly, and since that transition is difficult, our job is to keep you in line, so that we don't have to end up making up any credits or doing anything like that. And we have lots of different supports and ways to help you get to that point A to point B. So they start here at freshman year and all the way to that graduation where, your parents are smiling and we're all up at Byers Field, which, is what we want. We obviously treat our parents here as our eyes and ears as far as knowing maybe what's going on with your son or daughter, all right? Knowing what they've been doing at home as far as social media, things like that. All right, so as Mrs. Urban already said, contacting us quickly if there is an issue. Email, phone calls, we're always available. We're going to try to get back to you as fast as we possibly can. That way we can address whatever the issue may be. Okay, at the bottom of this particular slide, you also see that we would love our parents to be involved, and we have our Parent-Teacher-Student Association, so consider joining that. As your students work their way through high school, it's an excellent way to fundraise and be involved in all the things that they have going on as well. So, academic goals. As we've already said, we know the ultimate goal is graduation, getting to that 20 credit mark. Okay, I spoke to a group of students today and I told them, if you're coming to school each and every day, you might as well get paid. Okay, all of us adults, we go to work every day and we expect to get our paychecks. All right, well, for you students, your paycheck, the way that you get paid is by earning those credits. All right, so hopefully by the end of your freshman year, you have those 5 credits. All right, and that would put you in good shape to then be a sophomore and continue to work on. Okay, authentic literacy. It's one of the things that we practice every single day in every single class. So you're going to hear us say a lot, read, write, and discuss. You're going to hear your teachers say that a lot. That's going to be their expectations as you come to class. Many of you probably already have similar expectations in middle school, and that's a good thing. Okay, we're going to want that student engagement so that you can continue building on the education that you're obviously working on right now in middle school. Okay, so ultimate goal, graduation, we all know that. Okay, and it's going to start right here at the beginning. So academic supports. So mentioning the fact that transitioning, all right, from middle school to high school is a difficult transition. If for some reason you find yourself struggling, parents, you notice that your son or daughter is struggling, falling behind, you're checking their hack, they're missing assignments, all right? Don't just say, they'll catch up, they'll do it on their own, especially when they're freshmen. They may need a little bit of help with that transition. They may need their counselors to step in. They may need the administrators to step in, all right? We have lots of different things, all right, that we can help them with different supports, whether that be tutoring during their study halls. Almost all of our teachers, our staff is excellent here. All right, if you have an older son or daughter, siblings to the student who's maybe sitting here, you know that most of our teachers are going to be available almost all the time after school. Okay, they're going to let your son or daughter know you're struggling with this. Come and see me afterwards so that I can help you. All right, we have National Honor Society students who volunteer their time. Okay, usually they're juniors, seniors. They've already been through these things. Okay, they understand the material. They're willing to volunteer their time to help you work through some things that maybe you're struggling with. All right, and then as you can see there, varsity tutors. Varsity tutors, what is that if you don't know? Well, the Parma City School District did purchase a contract with Varsity Tutors, which is an online tutoring platform. Okay, the nice thing about that is that you can access it just about any time you want. So if you're struggling with a certain problem and you didn't make it to bed on time, it's 10 p.m. already, you can pop right on Varsity Tutors and hopefully get the help that you need. I like to say that Varsity Tutors is a good supplement to the first three that we listed. Okay, I would say your best option is usually working with your teacher. All right, second best option is working with someone else in the building face to face. And then Varsity Tutors, if you need a little bit of help when you're still at home. All right, so proactive interventions as well. Things that we're going to do to help you get from point A to point B. So starting here as a freshman and then graduating. We're going to have graduation plans, student success plans, one-on-one check-ins with students who may need it. All right, those usually happen weekly, just to sort of check in, see where you're at, what are you doing, is there something we can help you with? All right, and then obviously study skills and time management. Okay, the workload that you do take on here in high school is probably going to be a big change from what you're used to coming from middle school, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right, we're here to help you manage some of those things. All right, climate and culture, right? So if you've been with the Parma City Schools any amount of time, you are familiar with the 3 R's. It starts all the way down in kindergarten, and that's respect, responsibility, ready to learn. All right, so here we have our Resilient Learner team and our PBIS team. It's headed up by Miss Kruzak, who's right back there in the corner. All right, she is the person who manages all of that and does an outstanding job. She is going to set up different things if you find yourself struggling for you and work with the teachers to do so. Once again, as you can see there, we want Normandy to be your second home as well. You obviously are going to spend a significant amount of time in these walls, and we want you to be successful and we want you to be comfortable. All right, mind mentoring is something that Mrs. Kruzak and other teachers would set up for you, as far as having a peer mentor, so somebody your own age that has maybe had similar experiences to you. Typically, you'll meet with them once a month. We'll usually set up some activities, sometimes provide pizza, different things like that, where they'll have the opportunity to talk to a student around their same age, usually a little bit older, that can usually give them some ideas or some skills, or just have someone to talk to of a similar age and let them know maybe what they're going through. All right, we have counseling staff and students groups, so a lot of our counselors will put on some of these groups, from boys leadership, coping skills, rocks group, sources of strength, and transitions. Extracurriculars, we have 30 groups here tonight. That's what Mrs. Urban was mentioning when she was talking about going downstairs. You'll see on each table there's a little plaque, a little sign up if you would like more information. You can meet some of the students that are involved in some of those clubs or athletics. Most of the tables will have adults around them as well that are either the chair of that group or possibly the coach. All right, so you can see we have anything ranging from student government, first ring leadership, national National Honor Society, Key Club, Spanish Club, and obviously many, many more. All right. Also go into our extracurriculars or athletics. You can see that our athletic director is listed there, Mr. Medaglia. Gives you a little bit of your eligibility requirements. The nice thing, I guess, for you guys as you're coming in freshman year, especially if you wanted to play a fall sport, is that transitioning from middle school to high school, you are automatically eligible for sport number one. But after that, you do have to meet some minimum academic requirements. Hopefully all of you have goals, where your GPA is much higher than that, but those are the requirements. So that's just some information about our athletic clubs, which are also downstairs. All right, so we already talked about what's next. We laid this out a little bit when Mrs. Urban was up here as well. Ms. Abdullah is going to give you, as I said, sort of the meat and potatoes of how scheduling goes and what to look for and what to think about when you're having some discussions with your son and daughters over the next couple days and weeks. Mrs. Abdullah? There you go.
Thank you. All right, so welcome. We're gonna go over the courses and how to schedule for classes. Your students will be entering next year as freshmen. We wanna make sure that you guys are aware of what's going on. Just a recap, these are the counselors. Your counselors are gonna be Mr. Muha, Ms. Pijam, and Mrs. Keeler. So the student course requests open February 7th. The middle schools should be doing some presentations with your students and working through that. So those are open from February 7th to February 16th. That's when the students put their request in home access. Counselors will meet with their students sometime between February 17th and March 10th to do one-on-one scheduling with them and get everything into the system. Students that are new to the district, the high school council will be reaching out to you to schedule your freshman classes directly. So there's 3 requirements at high school level. The first requirement is those 20 high school credits. The second one is earning competency. Those are those Ohio State tests. They have to get a 684 on Algebra 1 and a 684 on English 2, or they have to meet a different pathway. And then the last part of graduation is earning 2 seals. There are 12 seals. The seals typically come with the testing, or they'll get them through the courses that they take here at Normandy. So a breakdown of the credits the kids need. They need to have 4 English credits, 4 math credits, 3 science, 3 social studies, a fine art. Need to have 2 PE classes, a health class, financial literacy, and then about 3.5 electives. All students have to have a minimum of 20 credits to graduate. These are the seals that the students can get. Ohio means jobs, military enlistment, industry recognized credential, a citizenship seal. That one comes directly with testing if they get a score of 700 and higher in their U.S. history and their government test, or if they get a B or higher in the class, they automatically get that seal. The science seal, same thing, it's directly connected to state testing. If they get a 700 on their biology state test, they get that seal, or if they get a B or higher in advanced level science class. And these are things that we'll go over individually with your kids as they progress through their high school years. So the course guide and registration guide are all live and they're online. You can access it through our website. There is a special registration sheet from 8th grade to 9th grade that shows the classes that are available and the electives that are available specifically for your students. One of the big things we talk about is honors versus an AP. So all of our kids graduate college ready. So when they leave here, they're going to be college ready, whether or not they're taking a general class or if they're in honors and AP classes. In order to do honors classes, the students should be recommended by their teachers based off of our guidelines. You want to check with your teachers, your students' teachers, talk to you guys. The big thing with this one is there's no drop policy when you put an honors class on there. If a kid is choosing to do an honors class or in the honors program, we really want them to stick with it and not drop the class because they're concerned about their GPA. The big thing with the honors program is the honors classes are designed for students to master the prereq, but it goes a little more in depth. The rigor is what matters here. And the more advanced you go and you go into the AP and those kids get that rigorous course schedule, they learn those critical thinking skills. They learn how to analyze information a little more in depth, and then they are completely college ready.
So those are college level courses that the kids can take. The big change that happened last year is any student that does take an AP course will have to take the AP test. The district pays for half of that test, and then the parents are responsible for the other half. To graduate with academic honors, students must meet all but one of the requirements. So academic honors, they need to take an additional science, social studies class, and a world language. They need to have 3 years of world language, a 3.5 GPA, or a score of 27 on the ACT or SAT. There are more honors diplomas available. This is just the academic honors diploma. If you're interested in getting a career tech honors diploma, or an art honors diploma, or a science honors diploma, they're all on page 5 of the course guide. So electives are courses that the kids take that are not required to graduate, like they're not the core courses, but they still need at least 4 electives to graduate. We have a lot of different electives in a lot of areas. Kids mostly graduate with more than 20 credits because of the electives they take. So one of the big things I tell my kids, like I'm a junior senior counselor, and I always tell this because they don't know what electives to take. Take an elective in every core area. Take a computer class, take an industrial art class, take a consumer science class. That way you get that experience with all the different areas, so you know what you want to get into when you get older. Because if you don't like accounting, now's the time to test that out and see how you're going to like accounting. Now's the time to test out, do I want to do information technology? Do I want to do engineering? We have all those classes available. So this is just kind of going to those career tech options. They're mostly available to juniors and seniors, but just to keep an eye on what you could possibly do, we have a digital media, which is like arts and radio and television. We have visual communication, which is like graphic design. We have business management. We have a new computer pathway, and this is actually open to freshmen to take, which is game design, applications of artificial intelligence, and digital content creation. So those are actually open for 9th graders to take some electives, and those are new this year. We have construction technologies as carpentry. We have biotech. In the health sciences, we have a dental. We have medical health professions. We have culinary, cosmetology, networking, welding. Another new pathway that's open, some of these electives are open to freshmen, is our marketing pathway. So like the freshmen can take a sports management class, a social media marketing class, and then we have automotive and auto service. So the next option that you guys have here is to think about is College Credit Plus. College Credit Plus is open to any students from 7th to 12th grade. We had the College Credit Plus night the other day here at Normandy. All that stuff is posted on our website. The big thing with this one is if your child is interested in College Credit Plus, you want to speak to their counselor, and those intent forms are due by April 1st. If they don't complete the intent form by April 1st, they won't be able to participate in College Credit Plus for the next school year. Any student that's thinking about doing College Credit Plus will still have to register for all their courses at Normandy as if they're attending Normandy full-time. All right, student grade levels based on credits, and not by how many years they've been here. So this is a big one. 9th graders is 0 to 4.99. A 10th grader has to have 5 credits or more. An 11th grader has to have 10 credits or more. And a senior has to have 15 credits or more. So it's really important to stay on track with those credits, because one of the bad things that people don't realize is if you don't stay on top of your credits, let's say you're a freshman, but you finished your freshman year with only 3 credits. So next year you'll be considered a freshman again. So in the yearbook, you will show up as a freshman. So you want to make sure you guys are paying attention to what grade level you're at, because a lot of people don't realize that back end of it, like, why am I listed as a freshman? Because you're still a freshman in our system. You have to have that 5 credits in order to be considered a sophomore. So we do have some full year classes. In order to pass a full year class here at Normandy, you have to pass 4 out of the 6 marking periods. So we have 4 quarters, you have your midterm, and you have your final exam. All students have to pass at least 4 out of the 6 in order to pass the class for the school year. And these are just some different examples of how they can achieve that. With our semester-based classes, these are the half-credit courses, they have to pass 2 of the 3 marking periods. So you have the two quarters and a midterm, or 2 quarters and a final exam. As they said, get involved. We do have a bunch of clubs, they're all downstairs, highly encouraged. We have a seal called student engagement. If you're involved in 4 or more activities throughout your high school year, you can get a student engagement seal, but it also looks really good on college applications, on resumes. If you don't plan on going to college, you want to go straight to the workforce, resumes, it looks really good that you did something from freshman year all the way to senior year. So if you have any interests, get involved. Just to go a little bit more into student athletic eligibility. So in order to be eligible to play any sport, you have to be registered in at least 5 courses. We do say every student should be registered in at least 6 courses a semester just to ensure, because you have to pass 5 courses to play a sport. So if you have 5 courses on your schedule only and you fail a class, you will not be eligible to play a sport. So we do push all kids to sign up for 6 classes. And then of course you have that 1.5 GPA requirement. The big thing is, if you do plan on, especially for freshmen, if you do plan on playing a sport, you need to make sure you have those 5 credits on your schedule. So you guys should be logging into Home Access. When you log into Home Access, you go to grades, you look at the transcripts, that's for the higher level kids look at their stuff. But what you would do with your freshmen is you go to the home screen in Home Access, click on the class button at the top of the page, and then the request tab. On there would have your students' recommendations on what classes their teachers recommend, and then they can just hit request what classes they want and hit save, or press save. So if you're questioning whether or not your student should be doing honors and AP courses and you didn't get any information home, contact their teacher or their counselor to find out more. But the key, and then an important date, you need to make sure you're entering your courses from February 7th to February 16th. Your students will meet with their counselors. If you have questions about their schedules and the classes they're taking, please meet their counselor, talk to their counselor about it. Because one of the big things is we do not drop classes. If a student signs up for electives, we really want them to stay with it. We want them to try it out. It's only a semester. They'll be done with it if they don't like it, and they can move on to the next course. Mr. Fennell, anything else? All right, does anyone have any questions for me? Or for our other counselors?
You said they have to sign up for like classes, like if they do CCP, like a full schedule, how do they, like, do they have to take like a like 5 or 6 credits for high school, and if they want to do college, is that allowed, or?
So if they want to do a full schedule of CCP courses.
Not a full schedule, like maybe 1 or 2, and then how do they decide like which other courses to take in high school?
So they have to talk one-on-one with their high school counselor, who submits an authorization form to the college counselor, and then that student has to sit with the college counselor and discuss it.
It's happening this week when they have to sign up for the courses, from February 7th to the 16th, that now we have to talk to their counselor.
Afterwards. So I know the middle schools are doing presentations next week. I don't know which ones are doing on what days, but once those presentations happen and once it opens up on February 7th, that's when we want to talk to your students. Any other questions?
All right, thank you, Ms. Abdallah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so at this point, hopefully we have some information here for you. Obviously, we understand, especially for those of you that may not have older students, that some of this can be confusing. All of the resources that you need and things that you want to look at on HAC are there. We do have some of our counselors who may be able to answer some questions, but for the most of us, we should be going down to the cafeteria. If you are interested in viewing or seeing some of our clubs, talking to some of the students and coaches and members of those clubs that are down there now to get some additional information. If you're busy tonight, totally get it. Hungry, want dinner, understand that too. Obviously, you could exit right out the doors that you came in if that's the case. We wanted to thank all of you for joining us tonight. We know that January and the weather that we've had, so it's appreciated you making the trek out of the house tonight. Yeah, because I enjoy my couch as well. All right, so our counselors are communicating that they'll just stay in this general area for questions that you may have. And then our clubs and athletic teams are right down these main stairs into our cafeteria. So there's the 2 restrooms right outside the auditorium. You'll run right into a staircase that will take you to the cafeteria. And then that's where you'll get to see all of our clubs and teams there. All right, so once again, thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.